Welcome to Tree Talking Time, where we talk all things tree dogs, from the smallest feists to the largest hounds, treating squirrels to bears and everything in between. And from time to time, we might even run a little fast game. Hey everyone, in the podcast with Brad from Go Wild, I mentioned I had recorded a few episodes at the Great American Outdoor Show. This is the first of those episodes. I apologize for the background chatter from the event. Unfortunately, there was no way around it. I hope you enjoy the next few episodes from outfitters and guides from all across the United States. If you've been enjoying this podcast, please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcast. These really help my podcast be found by others. And without further ado, we will get into this week's episode.
All right, I got a story on coyote hunting. We were hunting a few years ago, and the hounds were hot and heavy on a coyote, and all of a sudden one of my hounds come running out full speed, and the coyote was on his butt trying to bite him.
Yeah.
And
I've heard of that with like coon hunters,
well,
squirrel hunters, not people that are actually coyote hunting.
Well, I hadn't heard of it. I'd heard of it, but never seen it, and we're actively hunting it. And it was one single dog against two coyotes, and they run him out of the woods. It was during breeding season, and so that male coyote kept barking at us, howling at us for probably 15 to 20 minutes. Well, in that same time, we got all the hounds together, and we held them all and let them listen to him howl, and then we let all the dogs go on him. He decided not to stand there and bark at us anymore. He left when there was more than one. That's just a quick little thing, but normally that doesn't happen. Normally when hunting the coyotes, they run away from the hounds. During breed season, you do see some different things where the coyote male will actually let the hounds run the female, and he will try to attack them from the behind. We have seen that. But only when there's one hound. If there's two or three hounds, they won't do it. They'll split and go.
Now, the only experience I really have with coyotes, we don't have a ton where I live, but actually last spring my dogs were treed, and I walked out into a field, picked cornfield. It was during breeding season, and just to try to back up because they were treed right on the edge of the woods, and I walked out in the field and happened to see here come the pair of them coming into the tree.
Yep.
Luckily, my dogs were completely oblivious to them even there, so I spotlighted them and was kind of hollering. They tuck-tailed and run when they saw me, but
right. It's funny they do stuff during breed season they'll never do any other time of year.
Yeah. So we're going to run some trash, obviously. We're running coyotes today, which for my audience is typically considered trash.
Oh, okay.
We talk tree dogs here, so. Bear hunting, lion hunting, coon hunting.
Well, I run my dogs. I do run with people who run bobcats, and I run my dogs on bobcats also. And they will tree with them. One of my hounds he won't stay on tree. He's running walker, of course, but he circles the tree. So if a bobcat bumps the tree, when he runs up a little bit and then jumps off and tries to get away, that's a real good hound on that because he keeps circling until he finds a track and goes again. So we've had real good luck with him staying on the bobcats that bump, where some tree dogs, just stay in one spot and bark, and there's no cat there anymore.
They locate, and then when it bails, they don't even
they stay right there. So that's helped on that for us. And but I don't think coyotes are trash. I think they're fun to run.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just saying, like I said, for most people that listen to this, they run some sort of tree dog. So
yes,
coyotes typically considered a trash race when you're running a tree dog.
Yes, most definitely.
So why don't you introduce yourself now?
My name's Todd Jackson. I'm from Searsport, Maine. I'm the owner of Penobscot Bay Outfitters, and we do some bobcat hunts, coyote hunts, along with some other things. And
you do a lot of duck hunting, it looks like.
Yeah, we do ducks and some bear.
Okay.
We do hound hunts for bear. Those are really fun.
Oh, yeah.
What I do a lot for hunting after I do my guide seasons, I like to hunt the coyote.
Okay.
That's my fun thing to do in my life after season gets over.
Your way to escape the since hunting is your profession.
I get to escape the everyday grind of it and have fun myself. So, but I like watching the dogs. The biggest thing for me is I don't care who harvests the coyote or even if we get one. It's the race, the good time of watching them run and go, And our idea of a good day is if everybody gets home safe.
Yep.
What the hunters, the dogs. If we get a coyote, hey, it was a great day.
Yeah.
Bobcat, really great day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Definitely.
how we consider our hunts, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No, that's most of the guys that listen to this are not professional outfitters or anything, so that's most guys are going to say too.
Yeah. A lot of us, every hound hunter I've been with. I mean, I years ago I used to coon hunt with a guy, and it was the working of the dog, how the dogs worked, and
Yep.
it was all that was the part of it. The end of it, the harvesting of the animal, was just the bonus.
Yep. Definitely. So how long have you owned Penobscot Bay Outfitters?
I've owned it for 30 years. I started it myself and
Okay.
owned it. I started guiding when I was 21 years old.
Gotcha. So this is all you've ever done, really?
That's all pretty much I've ever done.
That's pretty
I've had
cool.
some other jobs along the way, but road construction jobs in the summertime until I got my guide business built up enough in the fall so I could just get done and just be a guide.
That's awesome. That's not something you hear a lot of. Most guys anymore, they're buying something out or taking something over for
You're right. Yep, they
For-
do.
a family member or something like that. Have you been running hounds all that through the course of that, or?
I've been running coyote hounds for about 10 years. I had some friends of mine that did it ahead of time. Kept saying, "You got to come try it, Todd. You got to come try it, Todd." And so I went out and one day and tried it with them. And the next day, I think I got online and ordered my Garmin GPS tracking systems. And the next year, I had coyote hounds.
There you go.
So that's. I mean, I had done coons, like I said, back when I was a kid in high school, and took like 20 years off in between, and then.
Gotcha.
Not that I didn't want to. I just didn't. Other things were going on.
Oh yeah. Now, what kind of coonhounds did you run?
Back in the day, there was black and tans, and we had a blue tick.
Okay.
The guy that I was running with, and black and tans from my dogs now that were the running walkers were slower, but for coons they were great. And we had a couple of real super dogs. We used to have a strike cage on the front of a truck, and we'd drive along and strike them that way, and drop the dogs on the coons, and geez, a lot of times you'd have them within.
Nice hot tracks.
Pretty close to the roads. You didn't have to go very far. One quick little story on that. We went in one time on a coon and I had to climb the tree because I couldn't really get a good shot on it. And I get to the very top of the tree and couldn't see the coon. It's like, where's the coon? And the guys from the bottom could see it. And he goes, yeah, they're still above you. And I mean, I'm not big fir tree. And I mean, there's like 4 feet left of the tree. And I kind of reached around with my head. I had miner's hat on with a big light on it. And I looked, and the coon was looking down at me about a few feet away. So I shot him in the head with a .22, and he hit me in the chest on the way down. And I almost fell out of the tree, which luckily I didn't. But so we got down to the bottom, and I had to carry that coon out. And that coon we ended up weighing was 42 pounds.
Holy smokes!
And those coon at 42 pounds drag really hard out of the woods.
I would imagine so.
At night when you had to go a ways, and it seemed like there's nothing to grab onto those to really hold them, and they slip out of your hand. And but that was fun. It was just we used to. Back in those days, the coons were really, high price for hides. We used to make a lot of money, $30 a kitten.
What was a 42-pound coon worth?
Oh, that one, I think we got $57 or something like that.
Jeez,
so
nice. Yeah, we don't have coon that big.
No.
I think my biggest coon I killed this year, which is probably the biggest coon I've killed in the last couple, is like 22 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
That one was a giant. I've never seen a bigger coon than that. That was just enormous. He looked like a bear. That's why when I shot him and he hit me in the chest, I mean, I literally almost fell out of the tree. I swung like a door.
I bet. So you said you're running walkers for coyotes then?
I have running walker, blue tick mixes, 2 of them. They're both brothers.
Okay.
And then I have a running walker, full running walker. Two full running walkers. One of them's too old now. I don't run him anymore. I can't hear very good, can't see very good, but he was the hound. When I got him, he was 7 years old. He trained 4 of my dogs, and he was super on it. I mean, he was the one.
Good deal. Now, is that running walkers your preferred breed then, or you tried anything else?
I haven't tried anything else. I've seen some other dogs. The running walkers seem fast for the coyotes. I mean, they seem to be the quick ones. I have had watched some red bones and stuff on bear. They seem to be pretty quick dogs. We had a guy a couple of years ago had some ridgebacks.
Really?
Yeah. You ever seen one of those?
Yeah, and actually the funny thing is I had a kid. I was talking to a kid here today, and he was like asking me that. He's like, "You ever seen anybody hunt a ridgeback?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I know theoretically they used to be, but
The first ones I ever saw had like an inch long mane from his back of his neck all the way to his tail,
Yep.
and it looked like some of the other dogs would be nervous of them because they thought they were
had their hackles up."
yeah, had the hackles up. So, but anyway, those dogs they didn't bark as much as I like. They barked really hot, especially when they were right on the bear.
Gotcha.
But they didn't bark a lot cold trail. And in my personal opinion, I like to know when we're on a good trail. And
Yeah.
even if they don't have to bark a lot, but just so we know.
Yeah.
Two of those brothers I was talking about that I got that are blue tick walker mixes. One of them is real good cold trail bark, and you can tell when he heats up, he barks more. And his brother doesn't bark on a cold track.
Okay.
And they run together. And then when he starts barking, you want to get ready.
That's weird. You would think.
You would think they're brothers,
that
and
they
they
would
just
be
how they.
more similar, and also with that blue tick blood in there, you would think they'd be a little more open too.
Yep. They bark good. But like I said, the dog Spot, he doesn't bark the track until it gets warm.
Gotcha.
Where, it's pretty. You want to be ready. He's about to be jumped if he hasn't already.
So you've never run any of the other running hound breeds like a July or Triggs or anything like that?
We don't have many of those up in Maine, no.
Okay.
I know a lot of guys in the Midwest do. I just haven't seen them. We don't have them.
Gotcha.
We have some guys come up from North Carolina doing the bear with us, and they have some the red ticks, and their walker colors on there are more reddish.
Okay.
My walkers are more black and white.
Yeah.
In the tan type, and those ones a lot they come up with they're more of a redder type.
Gotcha.
Bloodline. Still, they all run good.
Yeah.
Bark good, but they just different. It's different parts of the country. It's different how some of these dogs are.
Yeah, definitely.
My son just got two brand new blue tick pups, and they're 9 months old. We're trying to get them running with the walkers right now.
Okay.
And they're beautiful dogs. They're just got the beautiful blue tick colors and
Now they from someone local or?
got them from Maine.
Okay.
A local breeder in Maine, and got them, and they're all papered up, and we'll see if we can get them running good on the cats. They've been, the coyotes. We've just got them starting to run. They're starting to leave their father son, which is my son. They're starting to go and not come back.
Good deal.
They've been going out, 100 yards, 200 yards, come back, 100 yards, come back, 300, come back. And the last couple runs, they stayed good with the hounds for a few miles.
Yeah.
Which is good. So we're getting them there. Another few weeks, few more runs, we should be going.
Now, what's a typical coyote race?
Oh,
How
boy,
long is that?
they vary between dogs. And up in Maine, a lot varies with the snow.
Okay.
Like right now, there's a lot of snow. And this past weekend, my son took my dogs with his hounds, and they killed 3 coyotes.
Nice.
And a lot of the runs were real short. They just they were the coyotes. See, when you have a lot of fresh snow in Maine, the coyotes breaking trail all the time. So the hounds are always catching him.
Yeah.
And sometimes what we'll do is if they cross a road, we'll spike new dogs on.
Yeah.
And when we spike new dogs on, see, the coyote can't take a break.
Yep.
And you just put fresh dogs on him.
Yep.
And they'll run him down quick. You do that once or twice, and he can't take a break, and then they got him.
Yeah. Now, for coyotes, are you still limited to 6 dogs like you are for bear?
We are, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that for everything?
In Maine, it is, yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Normally, we just try to run a couple dogs at a time to save them. Sometimes if we wound one, we'll put more dogs in to catch them and stop them.
Yeah.
And then we don't, because a lot of times if you wound one, they'll fight more. The coyotes will fight more, and I'd rather have 4 or 5 dogs in there instead of my 2 best ones.
Yeah. Do you catch a lot of them, or do you bay a lot of them?
We bay. We shoot most of them. They bay some of them, especially in the snow. My dogs aren't. They're not the catch and kill type, which I'm kind of happy with. My older dog I was talking about earlier, the one we retired, he was one that would fight.
Yeah.
But of course, in fighting, you have vet bills.
Oh yeah.
I went in one time. They caught a big female, and she wasn't giving it up easy, and he had his whole side of his face ripped open.
Ooh.
You could see his muscles moving on his face from his nose to his cheek.
Jeez.
So I had to take him to the vets and get him sewed up. And, we get vet bills. I'd much rather have the dogs push him than catch him.
Yep. No, I can understand that. I was talking to another guy this morning, and he was telling me about some crazy vet bills from a bear hit a
Oh.
dog's leg and had to have the leg removed.
Yeah. Bears are hard on dogs.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I won't run my dogs on bear. I got too much time invested, too much money invested in them, and I love them. They're my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I myself not going to run my dogs on bear.
But you like doing it, though.
But I like doing it. I do. And I have been on some bear hunts that they're hard on bear. The bear gets hard on them. We were on one time that got ripped open pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
kind of sad when that happens,
definitely happens.
Yep.
Now, you said so most of your coyotes are bayed, though?
Yeah,
do you shoot
we'll
a lot
bay
of
them. We'll
them?
shoot them on crossings, too.
Okay. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, a lot of times, some of these blocks we hunt, we've hunted them for years, and we know exactly where they're going to cross. And there's certain contours on land that they always follow for generations. They do, and we always set a guy at that point, and he comes by the point every time. Another quick little story. Just the other day, I was out on a hunt 4 or 5 years ago. I had a spot where the coyotes crossed, and I had 2 cross a beaver dam on me in the wintertime. It was frozen. Mm-hmm. And I shot one of them. The second one, I didn't realize there was 2, and I fired 3 shots at the first one. And then the second one come across, and it bullets my gun. So anyway, we had to get on that one later. And we ended up catching that one and killing it, a couple miles later. But so 2 weeks ago, I was sitting at that same crossing, and I had a coyote come right out in the same spot.
Yep.
So it's I hadn't been there in 5 years, but he came out in the same spot. So
That's funny. It's crazy how animals are so habitual. Just to certain, like you said, the contour or certain.
A lot of
landmarks.
times with coyotes, if you watch those GPS tracking collars with the contour line maps, you watch how the land comes to a point, how the contours come down, and that's where they'll always cross.
Okay.
So that's something that's took me a while to learn. But why is he always crossing there? Because I've had the bird's eye chips.
Yeah.
And when you change my GPS, you can hit the buttons. You can change it to. You get the regular contour lines, and then you can see, he always comes down there, and that's why, because of the land, the ridge just comes right down to a point, and that's where they run right down that point and cross the road.
Yep. So what stands out about coyote hunting? Like, what made you pick that versus bear hunting or coon hunting or anything else?
We can hunt coyotes in Maine year round.
Okay.
So it gives coons, we get a couple months. Bear, you got a month and a half. Mm-hmm. I can run my hounds pretty much year round.
Okay.
I don't run them in the July and August up home. Usually a lot of 70, high 70s, 80s, 90s. I don't want to run the dogs out, so we just take those months off. And it starts getting cool, we run them again.
Yeah, very cool. I know a lot of guys in Virginia that I hunt with. That's their biggest gripe is when bear hunting is like you only get a few months out of the year.
Right. Yep. And I like hearing the dogs work.
Yep.
We had one dog, wasn't one of mine, but a friend of mine one year. We tried to run in June, and it was pretty warm, 70 or so, and the dog got exhausted, and we had to carry him out.
Jeez.
It was like a 300-yard carry the dog out because he wouldn't move. He just So we had to cool him down, put the water to him, and he lived. He's fine, but he was spent. He was done. So after that day when we did that, we stopped doing the warm runs.
I don't blame you. I pretty much take most of the summer off myself just for coon hunting, just because it's hot, bugs.
Give them a couple months to get bigger, and then run them in the fall.
Yep. So you've told me a little bit about your pack. How many more dogs do you have? How many dogs do you have total?
Well, I've got 3 labs I run for my CDOT guiding business, and I just have 4.
Okay.
Myself, coyote hounds.
Yeah.
Like I said, one's retired, and 3 of them are running. I've got a 6-year-old and 2 5-year-olds.
Okay.
The 2 brothers are 5-year-olds. So, and I'm looking to get another female here right off.
So you need to.
I've got one I'm looking at that's she's 9 months old, been running a pen a lot, on coyotes, and I'm gonna get her and
there you go.
Bring her along, then probably have a litter in a couple of years and bring a couple more along.
There you go.
Love it.
Oh, I know.
People say, "Oh, you got so many dogs." It's like, it is what it is.
Well, for you, it's business expense.
That's right. We can write it off.
Write all that dog food on the taxes.
Everyone just says it's always a business expense. You still got to pay for that expense.
Oh, I know. Just teasing, but.
Oh no, but people think that way.
Mm-hmm. The other day we talked and you told me you had 7 dogs. I just assumed you were talking hounds.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about your labs for your ducks.
Yeah, I've got a 12-year-old, an 8-year-old, and I've got a puppy now. He's 7 months.
Okay.
I had a 4-year-old of the same breed line, but he ended up getting cancer in the throat, had a growth, and we had to put him down. It's a pretty sad story, but
Jeez, sorry to hear that.
because he was in it. But I will tell you, anyone that lives around with his Lyme disease, make sure you lime your dogs.
Yeah.
I lost one of my coyote hounds, my best one, a couple of years ago because of Lyme, and I'll tell you, it was a killer. I just put the tick stuff on his back.
Yeah.
And people had said that, every now and again they'll have a seizure, after you do that. And he did. Didn't think anything about it. I didn't take him to the vet. He ended up dying. He had kidney failure 2 months later.
Jeez.
It's something that at that stage, if I'd have gone to the vet and had him checked, I probably might have been able to save him. So it's a real kick in the back to know that. So I learned. But just anyone out there, just think of that. Just
which is basically the whole East Coast.
Yeah, pretty much now. So I Lyme vaccine my dogs. I'm tested also every year.
Yeah.
Just to make sure. Because,
Definitely.
Like me, they're my kids.
Yep.
I consider all my dogs, my kids, and I treat them good.
Definitely. Now, your son, you said he's got some dogs, so does he hunt with you then?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. How many does he have?
He's got those two blue ticks we were talking about, those 9-month-old ones, and he's just getting into it because he just bought his house, so he'll probably have some more eventually. But
Very cool. So does he help you with the guiding at all? Or?
He helps some, but he's got a real job. He's the cable guy. He works for Spectrum, putting cable in people's houses. So
Gotcha.
He's got a wicked good shift, though. He works from 12 noon time to 8 o'clock at night, so we can hunt with me every morning.
That's pretty awesome.
It works out good for him.
For having a real job, that's
a
like
pretty good real job.
Pretty good hours.
Especially at 23 years old, to get be able to kind of set your hours and pick your shift like that. I guess no one else wanted that shift. He loves it. So.
Makes sense, though. I mean, most people, older people like I know, that'd be hard shift for me with kids, but if I didn't have kids.
He doesn't have kids, so, he loves it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and then he's not a real early riser. He'd rather be up later at night.
Yeah.
And so that shift when he's not hunting, he can sleep in until 8, 10 o'clock and get up.
There you go. So you said you run some cats.
Yes.
How's that work?
Well,
pretty good cat dogs, or?
Well, we run the same coyote hounds on the cat dogs. We just find the cat tracks in the snow, and we'll just put the nose in them and go with it.
Okay.
It's funny. We always thought they were just going to be coyote dogs, and we found a cat track one time that was actually, I see it cross the road, and I first thought it was a coyote, so we just let them go.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a cat, and it was a big cat, and we got that one. And so I was like, well, I guess they will run cats. So then we kind of, whenever we find a fresh cat track, we'll put it on it. And because we've done pretty good, we've got a bunch of nice cats with them, nice big bobcats.
Nice.
We don't put on little ones, though. If we don't, we've got to find a cat that's, his track is, about almost as big as like a Gatorade bottle.
Okay.
Not quite as big, big as that, but because that's a giant one. But a good-sized cat we'll put down on. Small cats we don't, because we just don't need to run them.
Gotcha.
We don't even. We'll just go find a coyote track and run those. But our biggest thing is like we try to run every day. So if we see a coyote track, we run that. If we see a bobcat, we run that.
Cool.
We do have bobcat baits out and cameras and stuff on them. So if they are on the cameras, we'll go and run them when the time's right. But
there you go.
It's just fun. We just try to run and have a good time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But being a guide like in business-wise, we don't shoot the cats ourselves because, they can make me money down the road. So we just run them, tree them, and pull the dogs off, and
definitely
go find another one.
Do any of your dogs tree if you're running by yourself?
Yeah, they'll tree. They'll stay.
Okay.
They'll stay there. But like I said, that one of them will. He's so much into coyotes. He thinks the bobcat. I'm assuming he thinks it's like a coyote because he'll circle the trees. You can see him on the GPS circle, and then all of a sudden he'll like a cat they'll bump. He'll go off, and you can have a dog like Spot. His brother will stay at the tree and just bark at the tree that the cat's in, if the cat's still there, and then the other dog will come back. Scout will come back to the tree and it will stay with him, but he doesn't stand at the tree, bark up the tree like a coonhound would or something. He just kind of he'll bark, but he doesn't launch up the tree. He's not standing up the tree.
Gotcha.
And on coyotes, if my dogs, the coyotes go in a hole and they can't see it, they won't stay with it.
Okay.
It's funny if they can see the coyote, they'll stay all day with it.
But if it's not, they can't.
But if
see
they can't see it, they'll go to a hole like that, and they smell around and they don't realize it or whatever, and they just circle. You can watch them circle on a GPS and try to find it, and then they'll stop barking, they'll come back and I don't know what happened. So we've had some instances you know, like, what happened? How did we lose that coyote? You know, we're on it heavy and the whole deal. We're assuming he went into a rock pile or a hole and got away that way. Because a lot of times when it happens, it is a rocky type area, you know, on tops of mountains and stuff like that. So we're assuming they go in den holes.
Now, what kind of like terrain is it up there where you hunt?
Well, depends on which bait we're on. We got some that's more fields and more flatter ground. Then we got other areas that's more mountainous, not mountainous, but hilly with, you know, rock. We have a lot of blueberry land in that area, so there's lots of rocks and rock piles and stuff like that. So I mean, we know we've had some go in rock piles before. You know, sometimes we can even bobcats go in them.
Oh yeah,
and we just can't see them. You know, so we don't try to shoot them or anything because you can't get them out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not into killing an animal I can't get.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Even a coyote. I mean, I don't like coyotes, but I do. I respect them. I mean, they're a very smart animal, and you know, we run in the spring sometimes, and you know, a couple of times we've run females thinking we're on a male, and then we find these pups, and we don't shoot the female, we let it go.
Gotcha.
I mean, because when those pups get older, they run us, in the fall.
Like I said, it's just funny the difference because from a coyote hunter's perspective versus a lot of other people like shoot every coyote there is, you know.
Well, and we do, but I'm not going to kill a female with puppies. If I know she's got puppies, I won't kill her.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't. I'm not that way. Sometimes we found dens that have had puppies in them, and we just leave the area. We don't hunt that again until fall.
Gotcha.
Just so you know, we had one day we found one of them was a black pup.
That's pretty cool.
Full black. Another one was pretty black. And so the next year we killed the one that was close, pretty black, not black, but and we haven't seen the black one yet.
So. Okay. So you're hoping
whether excuse me, whether something else got it or not, I don't know, but we haven't seen that black one.
Okay.
And he was jet black as a
puppy.
That'd
be pretty cool.
He was only probably he had his teeth, so he was probably 4 months, maybe 4 or 5 months.
Gotcha. Very cool.
We left it until fall and still didn't see him. So I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah. Who knows? Could have just moved out a little bit.
Could have moved out, Or we just haven't got on him yet.
Haven't gotten him yet, so we'll see. You said you got a lot of good stories. Need to hear a couple more.
Oh, let's see. We had a group of one time we found some blonde coyotes.
Really?
And they were just blonde as blonde. And I had one of them go across the field on me one day, and I fired at it 3 times with my shotgun and didn't get it, and didn't think I'd get it or whatever. So anyway, we were running that same area that fall. That was in the spring. It was probably in like May. And so that fall, I shot a blonde coyote, and it had a buckshot pellet stuck in it. Its legs.
You did hit it.
So I might have hit it. Someone else might have shot it too, but it had a pellet stuck in it that.
It healed over.
Yeah, it healed over, and so that was kind of funny, neat to see that.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they can suck off, hit wise. We shot one day and blew a leg off, and that one lived. We see it, we still haven't got it.
Jeez.
And it's
you would think a 3-legged coyote wouldn't stand a chance.
Well, you would think so, but it seems to stay around houses a lot more now, so it doesn't get in where we can run him good.
Yeah. Got smart.
Yeah.
Stayed away from the open country.
That's right. We've had some people see him and, hey, you need to come run him. It's like, it's right by a bunch of houses, so we don't really. It's got a bad road. That's the problem. There's a bad road right there.
Yep.
And I'm not going to run. I don't want a chance of dogs getting hit. So
yeah, definitely.
That's our biggest thing when we're running. Other people running out there. We always try to have a guy on the roads. This time of year, up home with quite a bit of snow right now, so we have 2 or 3 guys on snowmobiles. We still have a guy on the road.
Gotcha.
Because, a lot of snow, even the other day we were running, one of them hit the Tad Road and run the Tad Road for 2 miles.
Jeez.
And so we grabbed the dogs and pulled them off.
Yeah.
And because I actually couldn't find where he left. I don't know if he went up someone's driveway or, I don't know, we couldn't find his track. Unless he hit another road and kept running. So we just went and found a different track and run that one. And, got on that coyote and ended up being a pair. And they come across this woods road, and the guys weren't paying attention. One come across, like, there's a coyote right there. And they kind of got somewhat ready, and right behind another coyote came. So they got the second one, which ended up being a female.
Good deal.
And, so a lot of these areas where we're hunting with the coyotes, the landowners, we try to get everybody on board. Most everybody is real good in our area on the
Okay.
coyotes. They want them gone. And after we start hunting these areas for a couple of years and killing, harvesting a bunch of these coyotes, they actually contact us and tell us, hey, we're seeing more rabbits, we're seeing more grouse, we're seeing more turkeys, we're seeing more deer. I mean, this one guy, farmer, we started hunting his land. He said he hadn't seen a fawn deer in his field in 10 years.
Wow.
And last year there was 4 different does that had fawns in his field.
Nice.
So
Definitely helping.
yeah, so
everything
I mean,
else.
when you kill 20 coyotes out of a block of land, it seems to help. So that's and that helps because more landowner relations, and they tell people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Helps that way. We've got some guys that farmers we talk to, and they tell another farmer, and he doesn't allow hunting, but you're hunting coyotes, you're getting coyotes.
Yeah.
I want them to come hunt my land. And
Now, is
so
where you hunt?
that's helped us.
Is that for the most part private land then?
Almost all private where we're
Okay.
hunting. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I've grown up in that area, lived there. My parents lived there all their lives. I lived there all my life, so we know a lot of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And
That definitely helps.
whether they know my parents or they know me or whatever, we have connections there, and we can
Yeah.
work them enough that we talk to the people. And I'm trying to be nice to everybody, no matter what. If somebody comes and is mad, the dogs run across their property, I'm sorry. I'll try to get them off.
Yeah.
Every now and again we get into different blocks that we're not usually used to in, and they don't. A lot of times it's the people know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
They hear the dogs barking. They always think they're running deer. Well, and they're not.
Yeah.
We've had quick little story. 2 years ago we had quite a bit of snow, and we had coyotes actually running in with the deer.
Yeah.
We had like 10 or 12 deer in a line, and a coyote was inside the line,
Yeah.
running with them, trying to get the hounds off him. And so the guys couldn't shoot because, of course, all the deer were there.
Funny story for you. I was talking to a coyote hunter from Michigan. He said they had a coyote run through a bunch of deer, kind of like you just said, past the deer. The hounds went through the deer, still on the coyote. The deer kept following the hounds.
Yeah. I've seen instances where the deer just stand there and watch the hounds run by with a coyote, and they're like, "Get him, get him, get him!" You don't know what the deer are thinking, but
Yeah.
they don't. They just seem to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing. They'll move and they'll get out of the way. And
Well, that's what this guy was thinking. Like, after the dogs got through, they figured the deer would kind of peel off.
Yep.
They just kept running with them.
Yeah, they do sometimes. Yep.
Anything else you want to talk
Well,
about?
I think everybody keep doing the hound hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And as everybody who's doing this, whether you're doing coon hunts or rabbit hunts, we got to stick together,
Yeah, definitely.
because the other side, all they want to do is splinter and
Yep.
try to get the coon hunters against the coyote hunters or whatever,
Yep.
and divide and conquer. We need to stay together no matter what kind of hunting it is, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things that I'm really kind of iffy on, but I'm not going to turn your hunt down.
Yep. I was just talking to the Trappers Association over in another building, and that's what he goes, the coon hunters and the trappers used to kind of be at odds, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But he's like, it seems like we kind of can stick together now because there's so many common enemies. We kind
That's
of
right.
meet. And I was like,
And
exactly.
it's the same way with hunting. I'm part of the Maine Professional Guides Association Board of Directors, and we talk about this stuff all the time on trying to get different factions all together. And I say factions. I mean, it's not a faction, but, deer hunters, and get everybody on the page, because if like, I'm harvesting coyotes, it helps deer in your area.
Yep.
And the deer, like I said, our dogs don't chase them. They just get out of the way. I mean, literally, we watch them, and we've watched them, coyotes, run right by with the hounds behind them, with the deer just standing there watching them. And they seem to, deer know, even with the hounds barking, if they're on them or not.
Yeah.
They know, and they're not scared. I mean, they just kind of like,
Yep.
they'll take a few hops off the side and let them run by and keep going. So
Definitely. No, and coon hunters can all tell you the same exact kind of stories,
yeah,
We treat coon right next to deer bedded down all the time.
I've been in a tree before and looked down with my miner's light, and the deer are within 20 feet of the tree that I just climbed up,
Yeah.
looking to see what's going on, with 2 hounds at the bottom of the tree, barking tree. So
Yeah.
I mean, you're like,
Yeah.
you think it's like, why are you doing that? And they just sit there like, hey, what's going on?
Yep. Definitely.
Kind of neat. I don't know if they're curious or just what, but it's kind of neat. So. But yeah, the biggest thing is we all need to stick together all the way around, no matter what it is. And
Nope. I can't say that enough.
we've had instances in Maine where the Humane Society's tried to stop our bear hunting and stop bear hunting up there, and a lot of different outfits have helped us, like, like Sporting Alliance and stuff like that, and hound associations. Everyone got together and helped stop that. And there's a lot of things going on in the country right now that we all need to look into.
Definitely.
If we can give a few dollars to some of these outfits, like, it's going to help us out in the long run, because if it's me today, it's you tomorrow.
Yep, definitely.
Because their goal is to get us all.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
Ben, I think it's been great. I'm really glad we did this, and maybe we can do this again at some time.
Sounds good.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Tree Talking Media. And until next time, keep them talking in the timber.